Hello, hello, good evening. So, thank you everyone for joining. I know that this has been a very heavy time for many of us, and I was on a show tonight, and my guest said, oh, in the comment was something along the lines of, oh, the topic that everyone, we all know we're sad about, but no one wants to talk about. And but why, I guess my question has become, why aren't we talking about it? And why don't we know that it's okay to talk about it, right? The recent events surrounding the presidential election and the loss of Kamala Harris has left a lot of us feeling sad and frustrated and overwhelmed. And I want to start by saying that your feelings are valid, right? And it's okay to feel this way. And for many of us, it's not just about the political implications, but also about the emotions that are tied to the hope and the progress of the future. And for me, I'm a healthcare professional. So I can remember, when nurses were wearing trash bags, right? I remember the pandemic when nurses were reusing masks. And I remember patients' bodies being stored in the morgues, right? So these things are, and I'm not trying to get into and I think that's what people don't want to get into. People don't want to get into the politics of it, and it's okay, right? It's not just about the political implications. It's it's also about the emotions, right, that are tied to the progress. And when there's a collective heaviness, it's easy to feel drained. And it's important to recognize that this kind of emotion and fatigue, it can lead to burnout. It can lead to a level of burnout. And burnout isn't just something we talk about at work. It's something that affects our mental health and our emotions and our emotional state just on a daily basis. So I know, some of us are, I'm a nurse, right? So some of us are nurses, healthcare workers, or essential workers, or leaders in healthcare, whatever it is. We're no strangers to stress, and we're no strangers to burnout and fatigue, right? But when we experience a collective heaviness or sadness, like what we're feeling right now, it can amplify everything. And if we're not careful, it can start to feel like we're carrying a weight of the world on our shoulders. And I know that's what many of us probably feel right now. And so there's I want to talk a little bit about how we can begin to shift, right? Some of the heaviness, and how we can deal with the sadness of the moment without letting it add to our burnout, right? Or to already, or whatever what we deal with are already on a day to day, and how we can deal with it, the sadness of this moment, without just adding to and making us feel like we did something wrong, right? Or that it's something wrong with our country, right? And I want to share two strategies to help us just cope and be kind to ourselves and regain the energy, during this time. And the first thing we have to look at is we have to give ourselves self compassion, and that strategy is often overlooked. And it's easy to be hard on ourselves when we're feeling this way, and we might tell ourselves that we should snap out of it, and that we don't have the luxury of being sad right now. But that's not true. If your emotions are real, and it's okay to take the moment and acknowledge it, right? We have to acknowledge what we're feeling. And one simple exercise that we can do to is pause, right? Like pause and speak to yourself like you would speak to a friend. If your friend was feeling down or exhausted, you wouldn't tell them just get over it, right? No one, you would be kind to them, and you understand and take your, you would tell them take your time, rest, take care of yourself. And that's what we have to do right now. We have to give ourselves grace and be compassionate to ourselves and to our feelings and to one another, and recognize the sadness, I should say, and treat it, and treat it. Be kind to yourself and treat it with kindness is what I'm trying to say. Your feelings are important, and taking a few moments to validate your feelings can help you to process the heaviness and take a break from it, because that's what we need. And the second thing is connect with your purpose, right? When I mentioned earlier about dealing with the pandemic, some things you'll just never unsee, right? And there's a level of PTSD that comes along with thinking back to 2020, right? And but you have to reconnect with your purpose. So what is your purpose? So when you talk about finding a way to reconnect with your purpose, sometimes when we feel the weight of external events, it can cloud our personal mission. So I want you to ask yourself, what is it that keeps you going, right? Whether it's helping others, advocating for change, doing work that you love, reminding yourself of that purpose can shift your energy from sadness to strength. And it doesn't mean that you ignore the sadness, but it gives you something to anchor yourself to. And it's that why that makes you feel motivated even when things feel heavy. And if you're struggling to reconnect with your purpose right now, that's okay, right? It's okay. It takes time to, rediscover it. It's there, and you don't have to like go and search for it. It's there. You just have to give yourself grace and take time to figure it out. And it's okay. So I know I just felt the need to come and speak to something that I know a lot of us are feeling right now, and no one really wants to talk about it because we feel like if we talk about it, we're going to be, or we're going to be talking politics, because no one likes to talk about politics, right? But I think we need to speak to our sadness, and it's okay to speak to our sadness, and just really stay hopeful, even if it's, even if it's just a little bit, right? I hope these two things that I talked about tonight just really, it, you know, resonated with you. And I'm just here to remind you that it's okay to feel, and we have to push through. We have to push through the sadness, and we don't have to pretend, right? We don't have to pretend that everything's okay, but it will be, and but also don't let it consume you, right? We don't let it consume you. There's always room for hope, for rest, and a little grace, even in the midst of difficult times. So whether you're a nurse, a parent, a community member, taking care of yourself isn't selfish. It's necessary. And we're all here, and we deserve to feel empowered, and even when life's a little heavy sometimes. So thank you guys for watching. I'm sending you all love and compassion. And please take care of yourselves, and know that you're not alone in what you're feeling, and we're not alone in this journey. We're all in it together. So I hope you guys take that and have a good night. Okay. And yes, people do forget very quickly, but it's okay. We'll get through it. See you guys. Thank you for tuning in.